Good evening, Veronica.
Good evening.
How are you?
All good, thank you.
We shall start the session in 2 3 minutes. Let all the participants join.
Of course.
Okay. Veronica, you can share your presentation and check whether it's everything all right.
Yes, of course. I would like to start with a Mentimeter exercise though, so I'll try to share that first, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Can you see a Mentimeter page?
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
सईदा को को-होस्ट बना दो।
Ankur sir, shall we start the session?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Saida, please start the session.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all the participants joining us today. As we come together for the final day of Krishi Navyug and Ankuran 2026, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this concluding session. Today, we are honored to have with us an inspiring environmental scientist whose work focuses on some of the most critical aspects of sustainable land management, soil health, land restoration, and regenerative agriculture. I am delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Ms. Veronica Vasilisica. Ms. Vasilisica's work combines applied research, project management, and science communication to support sustainable land management across research, policy, and implementation contexts. She currently works as a project manager at C Biotech Belgium, where she coordinates multi stakeholder projects focused on plant based soil restoration and regenerative land management. Previously, she contributed to the UNCCD G20 Global Land Initiative, supporting international capacity development initiatives, the creation of educational resources, and the coordination of innovative stage at UNCCD COP16 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Her research experience extends across different ecosystems and continents. At the University of Beirut, Germany, she conducted research on soil carbon dynamics, while at the World Agroforestry Center in Kenya, she supported the GIZ Pro Soil program through field research and soil health assessments with farming communities. We are truly grateful to have Ms. Vasilika with us today and look forward to gaining valuable insights from her experiences and expertise. Now, without any further ado, I invite Ms. Veronica Vasilika to begin her session. Now, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. It's a hard surname to pronounce. So I'd like to start the presentation with the little Mentimeter exercise. I believe you should be seeing a Mentimeter page and now a quiz. Let me see if I can share the link in the chat as well. So you can join either through the link in the chat, or if you can scan the QR code, or just go to menti.com and use the code on the screen. And I'd like you to add just keywords. What comes to your mind when you think about agriculture? It's anonymous, so feel free. I see that someone joining already. I'd just like to see what's your background, where you come from. Okay, agriculture. And anything else that is connected to it? What comes to your mind when you think about agriculture? What does it mean to you? Please feel free. Any keywords? Sustenance and food, that's great. Don't be shy. Farmers, I like that. Very important. We shouldn't forget about our farmers. And we have our culture. I like this community view as well. Let's just take a few minutes. I'd like to see more of these. Life for farmers and rice, which is very important. What else I see? The backbone of humans, I guess, of human society. I love that. Farmers and their crops. What else? Life. Very nice. I like this this collection of keywords. Backbone of India, of course. Okay. I like this input. I just wanted to see what will come to your mind first. I'm going to just stop sharing the presentation, the Mentimeter, and I'd like to share now my presentation. 1 second. Of all the windows, I cannot see my presentation to share, so apologies for that. Okay, here we are. I think you should be seeing the presentation now. Could you kindly
Yes, ma'am,
confirm?
it's visible.
And not the presenter mode? Perfect. Okay, so today we'll be talking about understanding the global soil health crisis and what are the causes, consequences, what can we do about it? And of course, this will have an agricultural perspective. When I started studying ecology, I first thought soils were mostly about chemistry because my journey into soil ecology started a bit like this, at least academically from the lab. And through my research, I learned that soils are a lot about biology and a lot about people. And this is what drew me towards agriculture, because agriculture is this interesting interface, right, between our human society and nature, which we are connected to, but we often tend to forget. So thanks for your input. And I think you already mentioned some of these points, but I wanted to add that agriculture is also about soil health. It's about natural ecosystems, climate, technology. It's about biodiversity. Very importantly, about the social context as well, and national and international policies. So what is actually happening beneath our feet? You might be aware of the incredible biodiversity that characterizes soil ecosystems. 1 gram of soil can contain up to 50,000 bacterial species and up to 1 billion individual bacterial cells and up to 200 meters of fungal hyphae. So soil is home to 60% of life on Earth, from microbes up to mammals, and this makes it the most biodiverse ecosystem on the planet. And here are some sources for you. Here we have an extremely simplified representation of the soil food web. The soil ecosystem is a complex, interconnected network that involves all kinds of predatory, parasitic, and symbiotic relationships between micro and macroorganisms. Each one of them ultimately relies on organic matter input from decaying plant material, on root exudates, soil minerals, and of course on every other species in the system. So it's a complex natural equilibrium where human intervention can have impacts on this system, and impacts that we rarely consider in modern agriculture. In modern agriculture, especially at the industrial level, soil is treated as an inert growth medium. And because of this, many harmful practices are used. A few examples are uncovered soil. Leaving soil uncovered leads to physical erosion by water and wind. And this is something that never happens in natural ecosystems. The practice of tillage, while boosting nutrient availability in the short term, is harmful to soil life, such as earthworms and fungi, and it breaks the soil aggregates and degrades the natural physical structure and the natural porosity of soils, which in turn leads to erosion and nutrient loss. The practice of removing crop residues from the fields leads to organic matter depletion, which in turn reduces the capacity of soils to hold nutrients and water. We all know, or we might know, that organic matter is very important for nutrient and water retention in soils. Pesticides and herbicides, by definition, are harmful to biodiversity, but also to our health. And the use of inorganic fertilizers leads to dependency on these external inputs. And in the long term, further exacerbates the biodiversity depletion, because naturally we have certain organisms, right, that convert organic matter and nutrients into a mineral form that is available to plants. If we add directly the mineral form to the soils, plants won't need those services by those microorganisms anymore, and they will stop feeding them carbohydrates, so sugars, right? So this is how inorganic fertilizers contribute to biodiversity decline in soils. All these practices that characterize modern agriculture lead to large-scale, highly industrialized green deserts. And not even that green, as we can see in this picture. So our agricultural land ends up looking a bit like this, right? Not that different, these two pictures. Since agricultural land constitutes 37% of all land on Earth, the rest being ice-covered land, deserts, cities, forests, and so on. This translates into large-scale soil degradation. According to UNCCD data, every year, 12 million hectares of productive land are lost due to desertification alone. And for you to understand this number, that is around the size of the Indian state Tamil Nadu. And we can see from this map, this of course is not only about agricultural desertification, agricultural soil degradation. It's due to different causes, but agriculture is plays a big role in this. And of course, it is a global issue. So our current agricultural system and our unhealthy soils have a cascade of negative effects. They have a negative health impact because we get nutrient-poor food on our tables and we get disease-causing pesticides in our food. We get reduced gut bacteria because some of our gut bacteria comes directly from soils, and we start with soils that are poor in biodiversity in the first place. Our current system leads to large-scale environmental pollution because the use of pesticides, herbicides, excess of nitrogen and phosphorus, which leads to eutrophication and eventually the death of freshwater ecosystems, so our rivers and lakes. Synthetic fertilizers are dependent on fossil fuels because of the use of methane to produce ammonia, which makes them subject to geopolitical instability as well, as we are seeing just these days, right? Other than, of course, them being unsustainable. Our current system also leads to the loss of natural habitat and biodiversity, not only soil biodiversity, because agriculture, as we know, is one of the leading causes of deforestation as well. Unhealthy soils are more vulnerable to climate change, which threatens our food security, and this leads to the exacerbation of social inequalities. The most fragile social groups are affected more by food insecurity, right? And on top of that, the use of high-tech, GMOs, and other proprietary technology also makes agriculture apologies. The use of these technologies are often also not accessible to small-scale farmers. So we have an increase of the social inequalities. As we have seen, soils are the most biodiverse ecosystem on Earth. They are highly complex systems which require a large amount of elements to function properly. And yet modern agriculture is ignoring and often reducing that complexity, which leads to desertifying agricultural lands and a cascade of other effects that go way beyond agriculture. Depleted soil ecosystems are highly vulnerable to climate change. Climate change leads to longer dry seasons, a higher unpredictability of rain, increased frequency and intensity of extreme precipitation events, increased frequency and intensity of heat waves, among other effects, right? And when we have an extreme precipitation event that follows a dry season, a particularly dry season, This rain falls on a soil that is hydrophobic, that doesn't allow the water to infiltrate. So what happens is that most of the rain results in runoff, contributing to soil erosion and contributing to further water scarcity. So this soil with a poor structure is not capable of even holding that water anymore. And of course, this has tangible impacts on people's lives. A reduced harvest due to extreme climatic events will particularly affect small-scale farmers, whose livelihood depends entirely on their fields. But also on a larger scale, it will also impact other vulnerable parts of society and ultimately everyone because of food prices. So when we look at the matter from this perspective, it becomes obvious that soil health isn't just a scientific concept. It determines whether families can produce or buy food. If soil health and fertility are declining, can we restore them? The positive news is yes, by using nature-based solutions and best practices such as compost, cover crops, mulch, intercropping, but also locally adapted crops, swales, and proper water management. All these techniques allow us to restore soil functions and increase biodiversity and soil resilience to climate change. I've personally seen the positive impact of these practices on small-scale farms in only a few years. The transition requires some effort, but the advantages are numerous. We have a greater farmer independence because they don't rely on those external inputs, which are inorganic fertilizers, for example. We have higher resilience to extreme events caused by climate change because of the health, because our soil is healthier, right? So it's capable of better water infiltration, and it's better at holding water when it's holding water over time. It can also lead to lower workload in the long term because of, especially if we include perennials, because of lower amount of no tillage and because of reduced watering. So since the gains of such a transition are mostly long term, I think a key concept here is land ownership. It is less likely that farmers will be willing to adopt such changes in a land that doesn't belong to them, which they might be forced to leave in the future, right? So this is, we won't go into depth, but this is a key concept for the adoption of these practices. What role can technology play in this transition towards regenerative agricultural practices? We are observing an increased use of remote sensing for land monitoring, of machine learning for weed control, precision agriculture, GMOs, and high-tech agricultural machinery. We now have tractors with GPS and whatnot, right? But I think very important concepts to look at when we think about introduction of new high technologies is our governance and accessibility, especially when it comes to high-tech and proprietary technology, because these increase the dependency on large companies, which is the opposite of resilience. If a country buys most of its seeds from one company, that country would be more fragile, or that the food system in that country would be more fragile because if anything happens to that company, the chances are high that food prices are going to skyrocket, and the base of the system is very narrow, right? It's relying only on one company. On top of that, of course, with climate change, if we use only one or a few varieties of a certain crop and reduced amount of and diversity of crops. With the climate change, we can have some extreme events. Those crops are going to respond in the same way because there's very little genetic diversity there, especially for GMOs, right? And that contributes to food insecurity. So on top of that, high-tech often exacerbates social inequalities, as I mentioned previously, because large-scale farmers who can afford the investment can produce extremely cheap cereals or vegetables and other crops, but small-scale farmers that cannot afford it are left behind. So the high tech can create a sort of gatekeeping from agriculture as agriculture becomes a business with a high initial investment cost. So many people are left out because of this. A proof that technology was not always used with the best interest of farmers in mind is the fact that the quality of life of farmers in the West has decreased in the past century, not increased. If we look at the salaries of that farmers earn today compared to 100 years ago, keeping into account inflation, of course, farmers are making less money now than they were 100 years ago, before large-scale agriculture, tractors, and efficient fertilizers and pesticides and all that. And this contributes to making agriculture less attractive, especially for young people. This is, I think it's a global problem that young people are not attracted to agriculture anymore. So yeah, high tech is a very important trend and we shouldn't ignore it, but we should use technology responsibly. So if you take that path and you want to develop, say, an AI tech for agriculture, how can you make sure that it is inclusive? I imagine that many of you might come from rural areas or have ties with rural areas, maybe family there. Think of that older, small-scale farmer that might be your neighbor or a relative. Can this person use this technology? If yes, then that is truly inclusive. But in most cases, that's not true, right? So I just think we have to consider these concepts when looking at the role of technology in agriculture. So where do you fit into all of this? As early career professionals, I think it's your duty to develop curiosity beyond academia and to question the current system, what works and what doesn't. The fact that the practice is old and widespread does not make it right. And this is how you, by tackling, by asking these questions, this is how you can come up with innovative ideas as well. I also think you should learn across disciplines because agriculture overlaps with biology, chemistry, ecology, data science, but also economics, political science, and very different fields. Whatever direction you take, you should start from the field. I think this is the most important point. Talk to farmers, observe the landscapes, understand local realities. What are the current limitations to the introduction of a new practice? What are the challenges that farmers face right now on the ground? Start from there. I think the top-down approach that is sometimes used when introducing a new technology does not work. One has to start from the field, see what's the situation, what are the current challenges, and develop a solution for those challenges, not the other way around, right? And lastly, you should find your niche. Agriculture needs extension agents, agronomists, but also soil scientists, geneticists, data scientists, policy experts, entrepreneurs, and more. Agriculture is one of the few fields where your work can simultaneously improve food security, biodiversity, climate resilience, and human livelihoods. A few careers offer the chance to work on problems that are so scientifically fascinating and so directly connected to people's lives. And I think there's a great potential for impact because more resilient agriculture and more resilient farmers means more resilient societies. Here I have some further material that I found particularly interesting. So some books that are inspiring and documentaries, including the Innovation and Land Restoration series by the G20 Global Land Initiative, and the free university course material also by the G20 Global Land Initiative, which I participated in their production, and they're free. I have to say the university course material is more meant for trainers, for professors, but maybe this is something you can bring to your universities, to your courses. And it's all accessible and free. Thank you for your attention, and I would love to hear some questions or inputs for discussion.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an inspiring and interesting lecture. Now, moving on to our Q&A session. If any participant has any questions or doubts, they are welcome to unmute their mics to ask the speaker directly, or they can drop the same in the chat box below. In the meantime, ma'am, I would request you to wait a couple of minutes. Many of our participants actually prefer writing in the chat box.
Perfect.
Thank you, ma'am.
It can also be observations and your own considerations that don't have to be questions, just to fuel a discussion. So I see a question: how can we associate regenerative farming with natural farming? I think regenerative farming is an umbrella term that can be really the principles can be applied in any other type of farming, right? Regenerative, the key concept is that we want to build back the soil health. We don't look at just reducing pesticides, reducing herbicides, right, and toxic chemicals like it's done, for example, in organic agriculture. We want to build back the soil health because, as we have seen, that's the key for resilient soils. We need the whole ecosystem to work as it's supposed to, right? If we only reduce inputs, that might lead actually to a decrease in yield, which doesn't happen with regenerative agriculture when it's done properly. So I think the principles can be applied to any other type of agriculture. It's not a specific type, it's a more of a concept, right, in the end. I see a second question. So you discussed the importance of soil biodiversity. How can farmers monitor or assess soil biodiversity without expensive laboratory tests? That is a great question. And that is, I believe there are tools out there that are being developed, in innovative tools that allow for maybe field test kits, or that allow for a more simple assessment of when we're talking about soil health in general. For biodiversity, there are different tools. There's also just counting the macrofauna, right? That's something that in theory everyone can do. It doesn't require complex tools. There are many actually properties of soil that can be assessed with simple tools. Even the capacity for soil to infiltrate, right? One needs a cylinder and some water, right? That not all tests need to require a high-tech laboratory, right? And the development of these instruments, of these tools, and making them available to farmers, I think this is a key field as well, where one can specialize into and come up with ideas, right? I personally don't work in that field, but I think it's a very important one. How can climate change be controlled? I think this is a very broad question, maybe a bit outside of my my alley today, but that's a very important question. And what I think is that agriculture can play a very important role in that, because, as I said, agriculture is one of the most important interfaces of contact between between society and nature, right? So if we can improve our agricultural methods, we're ultimately improving our relationship with nature, right? Instead of maybe going with the usual extractive mentality, we can start giving back, and we can start building back our soils. And of course, healthy soils hold more carbon, right? That's the direct relation with climate change there. Agriculture is one of the major causes for climate change. So changing that will definitely have a big impact. I hope that answers the question. For the next question, how does soil microbiology affects the fauna and floral biodiversity of any region? I'm not sure. I guess this is, if I understand correctly, this question is about basically if how healthy soils can support also macrofauna in a region. Well, an ecosystem is fully connected. We divide them into, this is the soil ecosystem, this is the ocean ecosystem, but it's all connected in the end. And particularly the soil with the forest above it, right, or the agricultural land above it. And if we have more rich biodiversity in the soil, that means we have more insects, simply put. And we have those insects are food for birds, for example. So that's how, by keeping the ecosystem in place, we also support the larger ecosystem, right, of fauna and flora at the larger scale. Why are healthy soils more vulnerable to climate change? I guess unhealthy soils, maybe that was the question. So I didn't go into depth in this, but a soil where say, let's talk about, for example, the physical structure, right? If the soil doesn't have a good physical structure, that means that it's probably compacted. And when a soil is compacted, it it doesn't have its soil aggregates and the natural structure that it's supposed to. It's much harder for that soil to hold water once it's wet, because there are it's not porous enough, right, to hold that water. It's like a sponge that is compressed, that doesn't have the space to hold that water. And it's harder for that soil also to let water infiltrate in the first place, because it creates this sealed surface. And when we have an extreme rain event, water will mostly run off and it would not infiltrate into your soil, and that contributes, right, to water scarcity. So that's, the physical structure is one way. Of course, having an imbalance in the natural system of all the microorganisms that we have seen is another way, because that alters the chemistry and the capacity of soils of holding nutrients and so on, right? So that's why they're more fragile. I think for now I've answered everything.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let us conclude the session. Thank you so much, Miss Veronica Vasilika, for sharing our valuable insights and experiences with us today. Your session provided us with a deep understanding of the importance of soil health, land restoration, and regenerative agriculture in building sustainable and climate resilient food systems. The way you connected scientific knowledge with practical approaches and real world applications has truly been inspiring and insightful. On behalf of the entire Krishi Navyug internship program and Ankuran 2026, I sincerely thank you for taking the time to be with us and for sharing your expertise with all of us today. As this marks the conclusion of our final technical session, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers, mentors, organizers, and participants whose contributions have made this internship program a truly enriching and memorable experience. Thank you once again, ma'am. And before we conclude, I would like to remind all the participants that the valedictory session will commence shortly. We look forward to celebrating the successful completion of this wonderful journey together. Thank you once again, ma'am, and we'll begin the valedictory session in a while. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
Thank you.
रोहित जी, डॉक्टर शर्मा जी को प्लीज को होस्ट बना दीजिए।
डॉक्टर साहब आवाज आ रही है मेरी? नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, आ रही है आवाज, बिल्कुल आ रही है।
चलिए ठीक है। रोहित जी, हमारे ऑनरेबल गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर डॉक्टर विष्णु डी राजपूत सर ने ज्वाइन कर लिया है। आप को होस्ट बनाइए। सर नमस्कार, इंडिया से राम राम। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही सर, आप म्यूटेड हैं।
नमस्कार डॉक्टर अंकुर, कैसे हो आप?
बस बस
वेरी
आपका
नाइस।
आशीर्वाद है सर। बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा है सर।
ग्रेट प्लेजर टू मीट अगेन।
हम्म। सर आपका ही आशीर्वाद है, उसी से ये इनिशिएटिव हो रहे हैं सर।
नहीं 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 नहीं, आपका एफर्ट्स है, बहुत आप मेहनत कर रहे हैं। और
हाँ।
ये जो फाउंडेशन है, मैंने देखा है शुरुआत से कितना। अब तो मुझे लग रहा है ऐसा कोई इंडिया में स्कॉलर नहीं है जो इस फाउंडेशन को जानता ना हो। ये रशिया में
इट्स
भी
योर
जानते
ब्लेसिंग सर, इट्स
हैं।
ऑल योर सपोर्ट एंड ब्लेसिंग्स। आप ही कोर्स डायरेक्टर हैं कार्यक्रम के, आप ही नॉलेज पार्टनर हैं। मैं तो एक माध्यम हूं सर, बस।
नहीं नहीं, इट्स ग्रेट प्लेजर।
सर 7:30 पे स्टार्ट करते हैं, 3 मिनट
बिल्कुल
बाद सर।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। मैं जस्ट
थैंक
चेक
यू
कर
सो
रहा था
मच
कि
सर फॉर
एवरीथिंग
ज्वाइनिंग।
इज वर्किंग और नॉट वर्किंग, क्योंकि रशिया
जी
में
जी
अभी
जी जी
इंटरनेट पे बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं। तो
जी
इसलिए
जी।
मैं जस्ट टेस्ट कर रहा था कि वर्क कर रहा है, बट मैं वेट कर रहा हूँ। आई एम वेटिंग एंड लेट अदर पीपल ज्वाइन। एंड व्हेन यू विल से और यू विल इनवाइट, आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट टू इनरिच with
आपका स्नेह
knowledge to
बड़प्पन।
all these
थैंक यू थैंक यू
young
थैंक यू।
and energetic researchers. So thank you, Ankur.
थैंक यू। हाँ डॉक्टर प्रगति, रेहाना मैडम को एक बार कॉल करिए या मैसेज करिए जरा।
जी सर।
हाँ, दुबे साहब से बात हुई है, वो किसी कॉन्वोकेशन में चीफ गेस्ट हैं।
जी।
हाँ।
सर रेहाना मैम ज्वाइन कर रही है इमीडिएटली।
ठीक है।
You can start.
मैडम नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग, कैसे हैं?
बस बस बेहतरीन बेहतरीन, बस आपका ही आशीर्वाद चाहिए था।
हाँ नहीं नहीं, मेरे दिमाग से निकल चुका था।
कोई बात।
थैंक्स फॉर
ऑफिस से
रिमाइंडिंग।
घर जा रहे हैं कि कहीं और?
अरे जस्ट ऑफिस से निकल रहे हैं।
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं जी, बस
हाँ चलिए, no
बस
issues।
2 मिनट ब्लेसिंग्स दे देना अपनी, बस बस।
हाँ बस बस, कोई बात नहीं।
ठीक ठीक, ओके ओके। डॉक्टर सईदा,
Yes, sir.
आप स्टार्ट करिए।
Good evening, namaste, sat sri akal, and salam, everyone. A very warm, heartfelt, cheerful welcome to one and all. I am Saida Nahal Zahra, Technical Secretary to the founder of AWRF, and it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to serve as the host for today's special occasion. Today, we gather to celebrate the valedictory section of Ankuran and Krishi Navyug, a 30-day summer school and 3-month training program. This isn't just a conclusion of a program. It is a celebration of learning, dedication, friendships, innovation, and the remarkable journey we have shared together. Over the past months, this platform has brought together brilliant minds from different places, united by a common passion for agriculture, research, and rural development. Every lecture, every discussion, every interaction with our esteemed experts, and every moment of learning has helped us grow academically as well as personally. As someone rightfully said, the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Today, we celebrate not only the successful completion of the journey, but also the beginning of new opportunities that await each participant. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I extend my sincere gratitude to all our respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, mentors, faculty members, researchers, students, and participants for joining us this evening and making this program truly meaningful. It is now my honor to introduce the distinguished personalities who have graciously joined us today. We are privileged to have with us our chief guest, Professor Rajesh Kumar Dubey, Director UGC JNVU Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Our special guest, Professor Rihana Habib Khan, Director Extension SCOST Kashmir. Our guest of honor, Dr. VD Rajput, PSN Head, SF University, Russia. Our guest of honor, Dr. Pragati Srivastava, Founder and Chairperson AWRF, New Delhi, and the visionary behind this program, our course director, Dr. Ankur Sharma, Chief Secretary, AMF, New Delhi. We are deeply grateful for your valuable presence and inspiration you continue to provide to the young minds. Now, without any further delay, let us begin today's inspiring session. It gives me immense pleasure to invite our first speaker, Dr. Pragati Srivastava, Founder Chairperson, AWRF, New Delhi. A respected academician and mentor, ma'am has consistently inspired young researchers and professionals through her dedication and vision. Ma'am, we are honored to have you with us today. Please kindly share your valuable thoughts with everyone. If you would, the stage is yours now.
Thank you, Saida. Respected chief guest, distinguished speakers, eminent scientists, esteemed mentors, representative of our knowledge partners, dear colleagues, and my wonderful participants of Krishi, Navyug, and Ankuran, a very good warm evening to all of you. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to the joint valedictory session of our two flagship capacity building initiatives of Agriculture Valley Research Foundation, Krishi Navyug. and Ankuran, the 31-day international training program. Today is not merely the conclusion of two successful programs. It is a celebration of months of learning, innovation, collaboration, mentorship, and transformation. Together, these initiatives have created a vibrant platform for knowledge exchange, empowering students, researchers, academicians, professionals, and young agricultural leaders from across the country and beyond. When the Agriculture Valley Research Foundation and AgriMeet Foundation Bharat envisioned Krishi, Navyug, and Ankuran, our mission was to build a global learning ecosystem where participants could directly interact with leading scientists, innovators, policymakers, and industry experts. I am so proud to say that together we have successfully transformed the vision into reality. No program of this scale can succeed without the dedication of an outstanding team. I sincerely express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ankur Sharma, Chief Secretary, AgriMeet Foundation Bharat, and Course Director, for his visionary academic leadership and unwavering academic leadership throughout both the programs. My heartfelt appreciation goes to Dr. Rivangini Ranjha, PS2 Chief Secretary, AgriMeet Foundation Bharat, Mr. Ajay Sharma, PS to the founder, for his exceptional coordination and operational support, and Ms. Saida Nehel Zehra, Technical Secretary to the founder, for her energetic moderation and seamless coordination that ensured the smooth execution of every session. I also extend my sincere gratitude to our esteemed knowledge partners, Sher-e Kashmir University of Agriculture Sciences and Technology of Kashmir, ICAR IIMR Hyderabad, AgriMeet Foundation Bharat, GNSFU, Gujarat. Your continued support has significantly strengthened the academic excellence and the global outreach of both the programs. Over the duration of these programs, we had the privilege of hosting more than 70 eminent scientists, academicians, researchers, policymakers, and industry experts that are representing prestigious national and international institutions. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every speaker for generously sharing their valuable knowledge, research, and practical experiences. I would especially like to acknowledge the inspiring contribution of Dr. Claudia Ringler, IFPI USA, Dr. Pradipha Singh, ICAR South Asia, and Dr. Renu Swaroop, my personal favorite, former Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, whose thought-provoking session enriched the learning experience of all the participants. Throughout Krishi, Navyug, and Ankuran, participants explored several emerging and transformative areas of agriculture, science, and technology, including artificial intelligence, climate smart agriculture, drone application, agriculture microbiology, biofortification, integrated pest management, food safety, and whatnot. And more importantly, these programs promoted interdisciplinary learning, bringing together science, technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, policy, and practical agriculture on one common platform. The enthusiasm, dedication, curiosity, the active participation demonstrated by every participants have been truly inspiring. As the world celebrates the International Year of Women Farmers, we proudly recognize the extraordinary contribution of women in strengthening agriculture, ensuring food security, and promoting sustainable development. At the Agriculture Valley Research Foundation and AgriMeet Foundation, we remain firmly committed to empowering women, youth, researchers, and rural communities throughout knowledge dissemination, innovation, mentorship, and capacity building. Dear participants, today marks not the end of our journey, but the beginning of a new chapter. Carry forward the knowledge you have gained, continue to remain curious, embrace innovation, and dedicate yourself to building a resilient, sustainable, and technology driven agriculture future. Always remember that true success is measured not merely by personal achievement, but by positive impact we create in the life of farmers, rural communities, and the society at large. Before I conclude, I once again express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ankur Sharma, all of our knowledge partners, distinguished speakers, organizing team, volunteers, and every participant of Krishi, Navyug, and Ankuran whose dedication made this program a remarkable success. On behalf of Agriculture Valley Research Foundation and AgriMeet Foundation Bharat, I congratulate each one of you on the successful completion of the Krishi Navyug 3 months international training cum internship program and Ankuran 31-day international training program. May you continue to learn with passion, innovate with courage, lead with integrity, and serve agriculture with excellence. Thank you. Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, and Jai Anusandhan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such motivating and insightful address. Your words have truly inspired all of us, and we sincerely appreciate your valuable time and dedication. Our next speaker is an eminent academician whose work has inspired researchers across the globe. It is my privilege to invite Dr. B.D. Rajput, PSN Head, SF University, Russia, to address the gathering. Sir, kindly enlighten us with your valuable thoughts. If you would, the stage is all yours now.
Thank you very much, madam. It's a really great pleasure to connect this forum via AgriMeet. And I can say it's a very, very good title, Ankuran. It should be Ankur Sharma, not only Ankuran, but plant, I can say. This is well-known forum. And I'm continuously connecting last several years. And every time I have really enthusiasm to talk, to connect with you all via this forum. And I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Ankur for inviting. Undoubtedly, many events sometime not have free time or some other issues I miss. But whenever I get an opportunity to talk, to meet, to connect with you, it is always pleasure. So I really appreciate the organizing team for their efforts to enriching scientific knowledge among young researchers, scientists from different institutions of India, and also some students, they are connected here. Actually, if I say correctly, I read the voucher and one of theme of this summer school is very well connected with my research topic, which is directly connected with my current research. I'm working on soil restoration, restoration of degraded soil, enhancement of sustainability, nutrient management using nanotechnology, nanomaterials since 2015. Also, we simultaneously exploring the biochar, nanobiochar, different sizes of carbon-based materials, clays for soil restoration, and of course, same time we developing the products, the materials which for sustainable plant growth management and restoration. So our work, because this is of course very important theme, that how we can reduce the emerging contaminants, how to stop pollutants not reaching soil. So here we develop several materials, including metal organic frameworks, nanocomposites, to modulate rhizosphere system. I will say why exactly rhizosphere we are working. Because we know that these contaminants which accumulating in soil, not only by industrial or technogenic activities, but this also coming from the agrochemicals, the remaining fertilizers in soil system. Even recently, another concern like how this nano enhanced product can be dangerous for soil health, because this elemental or metallic nanomaterial, when it go to the soil system, not fully consumed by plant, and we are giving continuously more and more input. So this is disturbing the soil rhizobiota, soil microbial community, which is significant for sustainable plant growth. Sometimes we have nutrients or some elements in soil, but plant cannot uptake. So like unavailability of pollutants, elements like heavy metal, mobility, and also emerging contaminants. So recently, it's like a third year of the project where we working on modulation or engineering of soil rhizosphere. So in this, we are trying all this automation which discussed in this, which we'll discuss in this 30 days program. Like we are using machine learning to standardize the input of soil amendment material, because it is not now needed that you need to standardize using a lot of laboratory based experiment to predict the efficiency of any material, no matter like biochar or nanobiochar. So we are taking and we are using machine learning and AI based approaches, which giving us the exact effectiveness of the product. So this we are trying to use in agriculture. We have developed these materials, but most important, the how rhizospheric microbiome, like plant which you growing and nearby like root zone system. So in this area, this is a most functioning area where our plant taking nutrient from soil and other microbial activities are. So if we know this all system, then we can modulate, we can change as per our requirement. But for that we need frontier technologies, frontier approaches, not only one discipline. My intention is not to share what I am doing. My intention is that we need multidisciplinary approach. Whether you are scientist or a student, if you have multidisciplinary collaboration or research directions, then you will solve the big problem. So that's the reason in this project we involve a lot of physics scientists for tomography, synchrotron radiation based system, FTIR. Even we developed the e-library based on the synchrotron radiation system. So you can use this database and you can easily understand whole south part of Russia, which kind of elements in soil, what is the fractionation, like difference between element and pollutants is not big. Only like we are taking iron or zinc is essential element, and if the concentration increase or mobility of this element increase in soil, it become pollutants. So how the functionality, how the behavior near the root zone of these pollutants we have explored. So like this is not possible only becoming a soil or plant scientist or one theme. So that's the reason this multidisciplinary approach, which going to discuss in this forum, will be definitely useful. And we also developed some consortium of microorganism. No, more than decades, we worked on the standardization of nanomaterial input, biochar input, based on, we modified, because also debate on biochar application recently. No, China, they are using biochar in agriculture last several years. In Russia, we have just started, we given our material to the farmer. But what is new concern in the case of even this both material, I can say nano biochar and nano materials. The concern is long-term impact, how it behave in soil system, biogeotransformation activities for longer. So these are the concerns which now preventing. Sometimes we are using the biochar or nano biochar or material for remediation. Remediation means you are trying to eliminate the pollutants or stabilizing. And same time, we are using this material as a nutrient, like a fertilizer. So it's contrast. So like which you need to use, which you don't need to use. So these are the concern which needed to be very careful before applying whether nanomaterial or biochar or different sizes, or because biochar is also very stable material. We have intensive work on this aspect. We develop consortium with microorganism, try to enrich soil. So no, I don't really want to go in detail about science, but the intention to tell you that you must have multidisciplinary approach to solve a big problem. No, that's why the agriculture have a lot of disciplines, and these disciplines must connect it. Another very interesting aspect like digital twins and connecting agriculture, like automation, which could increase the dynamics between physical cropping system and technological representation to improve decision making cultivation or agriculture. Here we can use different automations, sensors, also uh, uh, machineries, automations, but the challenges is still there, like reliability, data integration, also effectiveness in different heterogeneous environment, like soil. Sometime like here in Russia we have black soil, the organic matter is more than 4 to 6% some places, and enriched with phosphorus. So you cannot generalize. So this system still need to explore a lot to make specific. Similarly, the soil amendment which I discussed, you cannot just take a waste and convert in biochar and use in any kind of soil or any kind of crop. It need very specific standardization for effective translation of your technology. So like this could be very easy to handle, easy to use, especially at farm level, at agriculture level. So being a knowledge partner of this event, I look forward to interacting with you, definitely exchange the ideas on nanotechnology, nano-enabled remediation technologies, and digital agriculture. In digital, we only concentrated on some models which we are using for sustainable soil health management. And of course, opportunity for collaboration with you all, especially plant science and agriculture and soil. We not only focusing on these two materials which I said, we also working on emerging contaminants like microplastic, nanoplastic, also PFAS, that is very new type of pollutants, very difficult to detect even. So this research is we just started, and also we are very open for collaboration. I'm working at Southern Federal University. Last 11, 12 years I'm here. So this is a federal university and we have soil science department. But we work on uh, different indexes of plants also. Like if you grow plant in polluted condition, then how plant behave at molecular level, subcellular level, physiological, biochemical, and what is the adaptation mechanism. So if you interested on this aspect to collaborate, I'm very ready to explore the possibility and to support each other. Coming to the point with this forum, I'm very sure that combination of these several themes connecting with modern innovations like machine learning, AI, and also digital twins in agricultural cultivation will definitely enrich your knowledge. My wishes to you all. So I would like to thank you, Dr. Ankur Sharma and his team for organizing this event, and thank you all for listening patiently. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an inspiring message and for sharing your global perspective with all of us. Now,
Thank
I
you.
respectfully invite our special guest, Professor Rihana Habib Kant, Director, Extension SCOS Kashmir, to share her valuable thoughts and blessings. Ma'am, if you would, the virtual stage is all yours now.
Good evening. Professor Rajesh K. Dubai, Director UGC, and our chief guest for the program today. And then we had a wonderful talk uh, in from over the seas from Dr. Vishnu G. Rajput and Dr. Ankur Sharma, Dr. Pragati Srivastav, and all other participants who are here in this training program. It's really an honor to be in the valedictory session of these two training programs conducted by Ankuran and Krishi Navyug. One was a long days, I think 3 months internship type program, and moreover, I'm extremely happy to see Saida or Nehal Zehra, my own very student, Said Nehal Zehra, and she's our alumni, and it's very nice to see her anchoring this program, and it's really a pleasure to have you here, Nehal. And she has many
Thank you,
qualities.
ma'am.
She's an all-rounder. And about this training program, I think it was wonderful to have this multidisciplinary approach. And as our Dr. Vishnu also said, that at this time, soil conservation, conservation technologies, reduction of the pollutants in the soil as well as in water or in environment is extremely important. I just, in the last month, I had an opportunity to visit Australia. And what we found was that now the work is going on this soil conservation, restoration, regeneration is the need of the hour. First, when we got this too much of commercialization in agriculture, at that time, food security was an issue. But now the health is an issue. Human health is an issue. One health is an issue now. SCOS Kashmir has developed. It's the first university, agriculture university, to have the concept of School of One Health, because we say that if your soil is healthy, only then the plants will be healthy, and those plants will be consumed by the animals. And because of zoonosis, the infections or the parasites from the animals go to the humans. And then we are also the source, humans are also the source of infections and pollution for the of the water bodies, of the soil. So it is a circle. So unless and until you take care of all the components of this circle, that is the soil health, the plant health, then the animal health, and then the human health, because in the long run, human is either um, consuming the plants or consuming the animals like mutton or poultry. So the infection is also going like swine flu. There's swine flu, there's COVID. There are many instances of zoonosis, that's the infection that is carried from the animals to the humans. Or we have tenaces, giardiasis, all kinds of diarrheas which take place from which come from the soil rooted vegetables like if you take carrots, or if you take radish without a proper wash. So this multidisciplinary approach that has been taken into consideration by in these two training programs and internship is wonderful, because now we cannot work in isolation. We have now realized that an agronomist working in isolation, and then a soil scientist working in isolation, an animal scientist working in isolation, and nobody is knowing that what they are contributing. They are for example, soil scientist is concerned about the soil health, but agronomist is more concerned about putting more and more fertilizers, because he's more concerned about the yield, productivity. But now the time has reached that we have the food security. But the first and foremost is our soil conservation, regeneration, and for example, that is why we are more moving towards natural farming. We are moving towards conservation agriculture. We are moving towards site specific nutrient management, and we are developing some apps by which we can fertilize the soil or plant only when needed. Only when needed. So these are some of the things that have to be taken into consideration, and I should congratulate Dr. Ankur as well as Dr. Pragati for their such activities, and they are always doing such things. Dr. Pragati and Ankur, they are very much active in this, and that is the Krishi Navyug or Ankur Foundation, AgriMeet Foundation. So I should congratulate them and appreciate the hard work they do in connecting our students, interns, fresh graduates, postgraduates with internationally renowned scientists. It's one of the biggest deal that is done by them, and it is need of the hour because we need more of exposure for our students. And like just Dr. Vishnu said, that he is open to collaborations. So such platforms provide you these opportunities, and I would request all the participants to take full benefit of such opportunity provided on this platform. And I should congratulate all of you, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. I'm sure everyone here today will be inspired to work towards a better agriculture system. Now, moving on, unfortunately, our main guest is a bit
नहीं
busy.
नहीं है,
So,
चीफ गेस्ट आपने ज्वाइन किया है, आप आह्वान करिए उनका।
अच्छा, वो है? अच्छा, ठीक है।
हाँ
Yeah,
बिल्कुल।
please call him. Please call him. He has joined the session.
I'm here.
Good
Am I
evening, sir.
audible?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
नमस्कार सर,
Pragati.
नमस्कार, जय श्री राम।
Namaskar, Saab. Namaskar.
Okay, it is now the most awaited moment of today's program. I feel immensely honored to invite our honorable chief guest, Professor Rajesh Kumar Dubey, Director UGC, JNBU, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, to deliver the valedictory address. Sir, we are privileged to have you with us today despite your busy schedule. Kindly share your inspiring words with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Saida. Thank you so much for your good words. And I also congratulate all the participants who are with really a fascinating platform, maybe on virtual platform, but it all 30 days is too long. 30-day journey and successful completion is really means something different in 21st century. Dear Professor Rahina, who just addressed you all, I met her many times on this platform of Ankur. She's the Director of Extension in Kashmir. Ma'am, actually your words are so good for all participants. If they will just remember it, I think they will do something better, not only in summer school, but also in winter days. You are from Kashmir. We all know the winter of Kashmir. And Kashmir is known for winter. My good friend now, Pragati, my new friend is Dr. Ankur Sharma.
Ji, sir.
Ankur is the Chief Secretary of AMF, this New Delhi Foundation. And Dr. Pragati Srivastava, the person who is heading this platform. I also greet from Gujarat. Ankur, I am Gujarat today. There is one some good program, Sanskrit Utsav at Gujarat University, and I was sitting with minister. But I saw your message I came to this VC office. I am sending the Vice Chancellor office. This Gujarat University here. Yeah. Dr. V.D. Rajput, although we could not meet you, dear, but very soon we will be meeting on this platform. Dear participants, this Ankuran and Krishi Navyug is really a great initiative, a voluntary initiative that means something more than just multidisciplinary or Indian knowledge system. अंकुर जी, हम हिंदी भी बोल सकते हैं थोड़ा, चूंकि
सर बिल्कुल बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है सर, बहुत बढ़िया। आप संस्कृतोत्सव में हैं तो हिंदी तो बोलना चाहिए सर।
अंकुरन और कृष्ण नवयुग प्रगति ये दोनों हिंदी के ही शब्द हैं।
जी जी जी।
तो अंकुर का अंकुरन, रियली इट्स शाइनिंग, इट्स राइजिंग एंड इट सफाइज द नीड ऑफ द आवर। प्रगति, आपका तो नाम ही प्रगति है, जो हमारे देश को चाहिए। खास करके जब हम विकसित भारत 2047 की बात करते हैं अंकुर, तो बिना प्रगति के वो काम नहीं हो सकता।
नहीं हो सकता सर, नहीं हो सकता।
प्रगति इम्पोर्टेंट अचीविंग विकसित भारत बाय 2047। और आप लोग कृषि के क्षेत्र में विद्वान हैं, रिसर्चर हैं, टीचर हैं, लर्नर हैं। आपके साथ इतने सारे स्टूडेंट जुड़े हुए हैं, देश के कोने कोने से लोग आपके पास हैं। आप सब जानते होंगे कि हमारा देश विश्व गुरु था। तो विश्व गुरु क्यों था प्रगति? विश्व गुरु इसलिए था कि दुनिया में हम पहले राष्ट्र हैं जिन्होंने विश्वविद्यालय खोला। हमारे पूर्व शिक्षकों ने पहला विश्वविद्यालय तक्षशिला खुला, जो ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी था, और दूसरा जो सबसे अच्छा विश्वविद्यालय खुला जहां लाइब्रेरी थी, जिसकी चर्चा अनेक वर्षों से हो रही है, जिसमें हॉस्टल्स थे, जिसमें शिक्षकों की कॉलोनी थी, डिपार्टमेंट्स थे, लैब्स थी, स्पोर्ट्स ग्राउंड्स थे, उसका नाम था नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय। अंकुर जी, पूरी दुनिया में किसी ने, कहीं के किसी देश के शिक्षक ने विश्वविद्यालय कल्पना नहीं की थी। हम उस देश के लोग हैं जिन्होंने दुनिया में पहली बार विश्वविद्यालय खोला। हम उस देश के लोग हैं जिन्होंने पहली बार स्वास्थ्य के विज्ञान की खोज की, इसको हम आज आयुर्वेद कहते हैं। अभी आपका प्रोग्राम 30 दिन का है। आपके प्रोग्राम के बीच में ही हम लोग विश्व योग दिवस मनाए 21 जून को, जो 216 देशों में इस समय योग का काम हो रहा है। और इससे बड़ी जो हमारी डायरेक्टर महोदया कह रही थी कि नेचुरल फार्मिंग, मैडम ये तो नेचुरल हेल्थ साइंस था, ये प्राकृतिक स्वास्थ्य विज्ञान था। गो बैक टू नेचर एंड बी हैप्पी, हेल्दी, यू कैन लिव अप टू नॉट ओनली 100 ईयर्स। अंकुर जी को पता है कि जब हमारे यहाँ, हम लोग कलयुग में हैं, इसके पहले जो कृष्ण भगवान का युग था, द्वापर, तो हमारे देश में लोगों की उम्र 1000 वर्ष होती थी। और उसके पहले अंकुर, जब हम बिल्कुल प्राकृतिक थे, हमारा खाली ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग नहीं थी, बल्कि ऑर्गेनिक हेल्थ वेलनेस लाइफ स्टाइल थी। तो हमारी उम्र रामचंद्र जी के युग में, जिसको हम त्रेता कहते हैं,
जी,
राम रूल्ड हियर प्रगति फॉर 12,000 ईयर्स। 12,000 वर्ष तो राम ने राज्य ही किया, और राम की उम्र खुद 16,000 वर्ष थी। लेकिन अंकुर जी, त्रेता युग में जो हमारी प्राकृतिक जीवन शैली थी, औसत एवरेज लाइफ ऑफ ए ह्यूमन बीइंग वाज 11,000 ईयर्स, 11,000 वर्ष। तो सोचो प्रगति की कैसा शुद्ध जल पानी रहता होगा, कैसी शुद्ध हवा रहती होगी, कैसा शुद्ध हमारा आचरण रहता होगा, कैसी शुद्ध मिट्टी होती होगी अंकुर, जिसमें अंकुरन, कैसा शुद्ध अंकुरन होता होगा, और कैसा उसका न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यूज होती होंगी, इसको आजकल लोग गिनते हैं। लेकिन अंकुर जी, उसके पहले एक और युग था जिसे हम कहते हैं त्रेता, जो आजकल हमारी सरकारें कहती हैं गुड गवर्नेंस में सतयुग लाएंगे। प्रगति जानती हो, सतयुग में एक व्यक्ति की औसत उम्र 20,000 ईयर्स होती थी। मेरा कहना अपने सभी जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स यहाँ वर्चुअल मोड में हैं उनसे ये है कि हम उस देश के वासी हैं जहां पे हमने केवल नेचुरल फार्मिंग की बात नहीं की। जब फार्मिंग की बात आती है, चूंकि ये कार्यक्रम कृषि से संबंधित है, हमारे अंकुर जी कृषि के विद्वान हैं, वो विश्वविद्यालय में काम करते हैं, रिसर्चर हैं, टीचर हैं, लर्नर हैं। दुनिया में अंकुर जी कृषि का ज्ञान, कृषि का विज्ञान, सिंधु नदी के किनारे एक गांव है प्रगति जी, उसका नाम है मेहरगढ़। मेहरगढ़ इज द फर्स्ट विलेज इन द वर्ल्ड जहां पे ये अंकुरन कृषि का हुआ, जिसको आज हमारे अंकुर जी उसका अलग जगा रहे हैं। ऐसे ही चाहे ज्योतिष का ज्ञान हो, हम लोग प्रगति, आप भी जब पढ़ते थे तो सुने होंगे कि 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी को एक गाना बजता था, हर बच्चे उसको बहुत पसंद करते थे कि शून्य की खोज भारत के शिक्षकों ने की और दुनिया को हमने शून्य, गणित का शून्य दिया और उसी से सारा कुछ चल रहा है। तो अंकुर जी, जब कृषि में हम नंबर 1 पे थे, जब स्वास्थ्य में हम नंबर 1 पे थे, जब शिक्षा में हमारे शिक्षक नंबर 1 पे थे, जब ज्योतिष में हम नंबर 1 थे, जब योग में हम नंबर 1 थे, तो पूरी दुनिया भारत को विश्व गुरु कहती थी। क्या आज मॉडर्न फॉर्मेट में नए तरीके से हमारे डॉक्टर अंकुर जी जिस प्रकार से ये वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म पे इतने लोगों को उनके कंफर्ट को देखते हुए, देखो हम भी बैठे हैं अच्छे से ऑफिस में, अंकुर जी तो बैठे हैं, उनका बोर्ड पीछे बहुत अच्छा लगा है, प्रगति अपने घर पे बैठे हुए हैं, हमारे सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स अपनी चाय भी, अपना पानी भी पी रहे हैं, अपने अच्छे से सुन भी रहे हैं। ये एक न्यू एंड नेक्स्ट नॉर्मल है प्रगति, जो हम लोग अब लगभग 8 बज चुका है और देखो कितने सारे लोग जुड़े हुए हैं। ये सिद्ध करता है कि हमारी प्रगति और अंकुर का जो प्रयास है, ये देश नहीं बल्कि विदेश के थ्रू आउट द लेंथ एंड ब्रेड्थ ऑफ द ग्लोब ये जो फैल रहा है, ये ब्लू इंक से नहीं फैल सकता था। प्रगति, आपको ध्यान होगा कि जब हम लोग पढ़ते थे तो एक ब्लैक बोर्ड होता था, उस ब्लैक बोर्ड चाक टाक करता था और क्लास के बाद वो मुंह पानी से धुलता था, तौलिया चाहिए होती थी, पूरे कपड़े उसके गंदे हो जाते थे और जो स्टूडेंट होते थे वो ब्लू कलर की पेन लेके व्हाइट पेपर पे लिखते रहते थे।
जी
अंकुर, आपको ध्यान होगा कि हम लोगों का कॉलेज 10 बजे खुलता था और 4 बजे।
जी जी।
अब इतने लोगों को अगर आप उस क्लासरूम में बुलाते 30 दिन के लिए, तो ये आज की दुनिया में असंभव है।
बिल्कुल।
हमारे से, हमारे रशिया से, हमारे देश विदेश के, हमारे देश के हर कोने कोने से लोग जुड़े हैं और कितना अच्छा वो सुन रहे हैं, कितना अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। जो ब्लू इंक थी अब वो ब्लू लिंक से रिप्लेस हो गई है। नाउ ब्लू लिंक इज द नेक्स्ट नॉर्मल। हम उससे रजिस्ट्रेशन करते हैं, उसी से वीडियो दिखता है, उसी से बात करते हैं और आने वाले दिनों में कृषि, जो अभी हमारी डायरेक्टर साहिबा कह रही थी, नेचुरल फार्मिंग, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, अंकुर कृषि की खोज जब भारत में हुई तो वो शुद्धतः ऑर्गेनिक था और इतना पुराना ज्ञान, हमारे भारत का कृषि का ज्ञान आज भी दुनिया में मोस्ट मॉडर्न, मोस्ट फैंसी, मोस्ट न्यूट्रिटिव जो प्रोडक्ट है प्रगति, वो ऑर्गेनिक ही है। तो भारत का जो प्राचीनतम ज्ञान था अंकुर, वो आज दुनिया का आधुनिकतम ज्ञान है, आधुनिकतम प्रोडक्ट है, आधुनिकतम डिमांड है। और चाहे वो ऑर्गेनिक फूड हो, ऑर्गेनिक हर्बल्स हो, कॉस्मेटिक्स हो, क्लॉथ्स हो, जितनी भी चीजें आप देख सकते हैं। बल्कि प्रगति अब तो ये कहा जा रहा है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज को अगर किसी तरह मिटिगेट करना है, क्लाइमेट चेंज को किसी तरह अडॉप्ट करना है, आई मीन एडाप्टिव एंड मिटिगेशन टेक्नोलॉजीज ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज is only one, and that is Indian knowledge of agriculture, Indian knowledge system of living, and ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग और नेचुरल फार्मिंग। तो आप खुद समझ सकते हो प्रगति कि ये कार्यक्रम कितना उपयोगी है, कितना बहु उपयोगी है। ये स्किलिंग के लिए, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के लिए, ये एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन के लिए, ये इनकम जनरेशन के लिए इससे अच्छा कार्यक्रम शायद ही कोई हो सकता है। ये कार्यक्रम केवल अच्छा ही नहीं है, सबसे बड़ी अच्छाई यह है कि अंकुर जी बिना इसके किसी गवर्नमेंट के एड के, गवर्नमेंट की सहायता के वॉलंटरली करते हैं। अंकुर जी, आपका ये जो सद्भावना है, जो सत्प्रयास है, इसको ईश्वर ऐसी शक्ति दे, आप ऐसे ही करते रहें। और हमारी शुभकामनाएं आप ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को, हमारी शुभकामनाएं हमारे सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को, कि अंकुर जी ने अच्छा समझा कि यूजीसी का नाम भी अपने साथ जोड़ा। हम तो समझते हैं अंकुर, यूजीसी खुद इतना अच्छा काम नहीं करती जितना अच्छा काम आप कर रहे हो।
सर, आपके चरणों में प्रणाम सर।
तो हमारा यही मानना है कि आप इसी तरह से अपने काम में लगे रहें। I always wish you the best, and I am always with you. My support is unconditional to all of you, and you is open for you for all the time. बहुत टाइम नहीं लूंगा मैं, हमारी भी प्रतीक्षा नीचे हो रही है। तो आप सब पुनः पुनः बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। उन्नत भारत, विकसित भारत के लिए आप सब काम करते रहें। हम लोग अपने आंखों से अंकुरन नहीं देखेंगे, बल्कि विकसित भारत भी देखेंगे।
जरूर जरूर सर, जरूर।
कामनाओं के साथ सबको बहुत शुभकामनाएं। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
नमस्कार।
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an insightful and motivating address. Your guidance will undoubtedly motivate all the participants in their future academic and professional journeys. Before we conclude today's program, I am delighted to share an exciting announcement. Our learning journey does not end here. Very soon, we will be launching our new flagship initiative, the G, a program dedicated to promoting rural innovation, agriculture entrepreneurship, sustainable village development, and community empowerment. We warmly invite all the participants to stay connected with us and become part of this exciting new chapter. Further details regarding registrations and schedules will be shared through our official communication channels very soon. I would also like to make another important announcement regarding the certificates. We are pleased to inform all the participants that the soft copies of the completion certificates will be shared very soon through your registered email or official communication platform, whereas the original hard copy certificates will be dispatched within 1 month to your registered postal addresses. We sincerely appreciate your patience and thank you for your enthusiastic participation throughout the program. As we come to the close of this memorable evening, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, special guest, guests of honor, course director, distinguished faculty members, organizing committee, technical team, and every participant whose enthusiasm and dedication made Ankuran and Krishi Navyug an extraordinary success. Every ending marks the beginning of a new journey, and we hope that the knowledge, experiences, and friendships gained here will continue to guide and inspire you in the years ahead. Thank you once again for being part of this wonderful journey. We look forward to meeting you all again in our upcoming G program. Until then, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep contributing towards a stronger and more sustainable agriculture future. Thank you. Stay safe. Jai Hind.
सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मिलते हैं जी में।
Thank you. Thank you, Saida.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Participants can now leave the meeting.
All the best. Okay, bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants can now leave the meeting. Thank you.